And I always get a shiver up my spine when I hear that, someone dying of a heart attack. And I consider how close I might have been to die as well. So anyway, one thing, in Australia, or at least the hospital I went to, when all of these things are happening, the nurses started to get angry at me. And they said, "What did you drive here for? You should have taken an ambulance." I said, "I didn't drive, my wife did." "Well, you should have taken an ambulance." I said, "My doctor said to drive." "Well, you shouldn't have listened to your doctor. Next time, take an ambulance." Thinking, man, I'm having a heart attack. These people are getting aggro with me. And I spoke to some other nurses since, and they said, "Yeah, we do that to patients." Boy, so much for Florence Nightingale. But anyway, so I was moved to the ward. And that night, I had a dark night of the soul. I don't know if you've ever experienced that, but I was in a dark place. I'd been, I was getting ready to go on holidays, reasonably fit and healthy, so I thought. And I was wondering, what is the future going to hold for me? And so, in a hospital, on the ward, the first night especially, the nurse is always doing observations every 2 hours or something, telling you to take this pill and whatever. And all the time, you're left with your own thoughts. And during that night, I was thinking about what's going to happen. Will I be able to work again? What about my family? What if I die? What about my ministry? All of these things were going through my mind. I was praying, but I was struggling with God during this time as well, about what had happened. Now, I must admit, I don't follow the health message to 100%, but I had a fairly healthy life, but I did have a lot of stress, and I probably didn't manage that as well as I should have, and that's what the doctor said as well. Said, okay, you've got to make some changes, but we'll come to that later. And so, I was in this dark place. I call it the dark night of the soul. I think maybe many people have experienced as well. Praying but struggling with God. So, I hardly slept that night, as you can expect, there in the hospital alone. In the morning, I said to God, "God, I need a word from you. I'm a pastor, but I just need a word from you that I didn't even know what I wanted actually, but I wanted something from God, that He was there, He was with me. Whatever, I just didn't know. My mind was just off, and so I was thinking, maybe there's some Bible verses. I was trying to think of someone in the Bible had a heart attack or something like that. But the only one I could think of was this one in 1 Samuel 25, 37 to 38. Then in the morning when Nabal was sober, his wife told him all these things, and his heart failed him, and he became like a stone. And 10 days later, the Lord struck Nabal and he died. So that was not the Bible text I was looking for. So I'm going to get another Bible text. This is not the one I want. So boy, I couldn't think of anyone else who had a heart attack in the Bible. So anyway, I studied my lesson, and on that quarter, I don't know if you remember, this was back in 2017, it was the first week of the quarter. It was about the Holy Spirit. So I read my lesson, but I was still unsettled. I was still saying, "God, I just need a word from you. Please give me a word that, whatever. Just needed some sort of comfort or whatever about my situation." So anyway, at the end of my lesson, prayer was still unsettled, still wanting more. And so I thought, well, studying about the Holy Spirit, I'll go to John 14, 15 and 16 and read a bit more about the Holy Spirit. So anyway, I went to John 14. I went in my Bible and went to John, which we're studying at the moment.